What's up, everybody? I am Kris Risner with VIE Media, and I'm sitting here with Eric Brown, and today we're doing Marketing Monday. This is our first Marketing Monday, so this
What
is...
up, people?
Oh, he's going to cut me off. Fuck it. Anyways.
What? I was just saying what's up to the crowd, to the listeners.
So we got some questions to ask each other, and let's hop into it.
What you got, Kris?
Starting with Eric.
All right, let's talk about this. Leveraging TikTok for brand growth.
Damn, that's the one I was going to go
to
for you.
let's open this up for both of us. So the reason I want to talk about TikTok is up until a couple weeks ago, I have shit on TikTok. I didn't want to use it. I just created my profile and started posting clips from it a couple weeks ago. And I see it now for what it is, which is a tool that arguably may be the most important for content socially this year.
Agree? Yeah, if you're trying to build a personal brand, then you've got to be on TikTok. Honestly, everybody's on it. It's like everybody's constantly scrolling through it. And the algorithm, like, it shows your video to a lot more people than any other platform.
Yeah, so compared to like Instagram though, and like Facebook Reels and YouTube Reels, why does it seem like TikTok does better?
I think they just have a bigger audience. Like, I don't think Instagram Reels has that big of an audience.
Really?
I mean, and whenever you are on Instagram Reels, it's always old content.
Well, I guess let's break this down. What do people use the different platforms for? Is Instagram mainly stories?
Yeah, I feel like Instagram's really just stories and then even just like regular photo post.
But the Reels go into the feed just like a normal post does on Instagram.
They do, but also like just generally speaking, I don't think people are that excited about Instagram.
So you think Instagram's dying?
It's just been around for too long.
You think Instagram's dying?
Of all the platforms, I definitely think Instagram's dying.
More so than Facebook?
I think Facebook, I feel like, is making kind of a comeback.
I don't disagree.
I see a lot of people on Facebook, especially like once you start getting into like business age and you're trying to build up your network more, it's kind of like a cooler version of LinkedIn almost.
Well, I think most people would argue that they don't like LinkedIn. It's a necessary evil. Well, really all social media is, but
well, yeah, people only really use LinkedIn for like if they're trying to get a job.
Yeah.
They'll create their LinkedIn.
Somehow I feel like LinkedIn is the most selfish of all of the social medias, even though it should be the least selfish. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Nobody's there to actually provide value. Everybody's there just
to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
To make money or find a job.
But TikTok is like the completely opposite spectrum. Everybody's on TikTok for entertainment. And so if you're like doing edutainment, educating entertainment, then you're killer.
So is TikTok more valuable than YouTube? What about YouTube?
So whenever you look at search, like the way that people search, Google's obviously number one. YouTube is number two. TikTok is number 3.
Really?
For it's actually the number 1 most used for like Gen Z.
Yeah.
So Gen Z is using TikTok to search the way that we would go to Google.
I mean, we just had Matt Fleming on. He just talked about it. He says he gets his news from TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, just going off of that and being an SEO focused agency, like we realize how important search is for people finding us.
So, okay. So with the content that people are pushing onto TikTok, should it be different than the other platforms? Or if, let's just take it from a business owner's perspective, right? Why are they using social media? More so than not, they're trying to build their personal brand or their company's brand online, right? So if they're just distributing content to those different platforms, should it be different? Do you see a difference in content between the platforms? Or at the end of the day, push out the content that you have because getting in front of those people is more important than making something, say, perfect?
So, I mean, at the minimum, you should be pushing out what you have. But I think TikTok's a lot less polished than other platforms. And the content that does really well on TikTok is a lot less polished. Like on TikTok, the content that does really well is just people like selfie videos of themselves or whatever. Versus YouTube, you really have to have like high production value. You have to have perfect audio. It's just a completely different platform overall.
Yep. Agreed. All right, let's go back to the questions here. What else we got, Kris? You want a short form video into marketing? I mean, we just pretty much talked about that.
I mean, short form video is extremely important for marketing. Like that's really Marketing Monday. That's literally our goal with this.
Yep.
Is to use this for short form video. Same thing for the podcast. We've been doing a lot of clips from the podcast. And I haven't been posting them as much, but you have been. Have you seen traction from it?
Yeah, I get 1,000+ views usually across on each platform.
Yeah, I posted
For
a
the
bunch
reels.
for the whenever Faster House was on, and all of their videos had 1,000 views.
Yeah. So
Versus
yeah,
the podcast itself is long form, and I don't see as many people watching it. I
No.
mean, they're definitely listening to it, but they're not. It's a lot easier to get people to watch a clip than it is to get them to watch a 2-hour podcast.
Yes, 100%. Well, you have to be bought in to listen to an hour-long podcast
Exactly.
versus a clip that just shows up. It's a minute. Maybe we get you in with the question we're asking or the work that's being done in the video. But at the end of the day, it's only 30 seconds or a minute. It's not something you have to sit down and watch an hour for.
And really, I think that's all that podcasts are, is like a vehicle for creating other types of content from it.
Isn't that news as well? I mean, you have your morning news, but you still have different segments that can be broken up into clips and distributed online. Obviously not 100% the same, but similar in terms of, it really comes back to broadcasting and things like that. It all comes back to TV and how it was done now, except now the medium is just different.
Well, things like not the Today Show, like late night, those do better on YouTube than they do actually on TV.
Yeah.
Even though whenever you think about it, it's a TV show.
Team Coco, Conan O'Brien was like killed on YouTube.
Yeah.
All of his short films, like he was getting millions of views. More views than he gets each night on the show.
Exactly. And I mean, that's just a big strategy for all of these brands.
Yeah, you got to. Okay, short form video. Let's go ahead and punch that as important. All right, got it.
This is kind of an interesting one. So optimizing for voice search. So that's like Alexa, Google Homes, that type of thing. Gary Vee was extremely, extremely bullish on voice search. He used to talk a lot about Alexa, and he thought that getting onto Alexa was like the biggest thing that you could do in 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on voice search? Because you're a little bit different generation than I am, do you use voice search for anything?
Yeah, but I search the same way I would type, so I don't see a difference.
Yeah, I literally only use it for like the weather.
So I guess let me ask you this. We actually got this question, voice search. Maybe I'm just clueless here. I don't understand the difference in marketing, voice search versus non-voice search. Because what I'm typing is the same thing what I would be saying out loud.
I think really it's just the structure and making sure that it is picked up by Alexa or picked up by whatever platform it is that's doing it. And I think that also comes back to AI and how like AI is pulling from articles to give you results. So it all kind of comes back to the same thing where like whenever you ask Alexa a question, she's not going to read you out a whole article. She's going to pick out specific pieces.
So I guess if I, say I'm going to Google, I'm looking for best new restaurants in St. Louis. The only difference between that and me saying it is what are the best new restaurants in St. Louis? So from a search perspective, does that really change anything?
I mean, Alexa or Google Home or whatever, like they have to have an opinion essentially. Like they have to go through the articles and pick whatever they want.
Okay.
So they're not just picking one article and giving you that article.
But wouldn't it be based on SEO? What's ranking in the top for that search term?
Yeah, but I mean, I think if Alexa or Google Home's doing a good job, they would be.
It shouldn't be opinion based at all for them.
Well, they can't make an opinion because it's AI.
Yeah.
Or it's a robot. They can't have opinions. But they should be able to like look at a lot more data than just what's the top ranking.
Sure, makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a big opinion on that. I have more questions than answers about voice search, really.
Which
how
I
much
think
it
kind of
really
shows
matters.
you, because voice search has been around for a while, so I feel like that kind of shows you how not useful it is.
Yeah. I was going to say, you got to my point. Gary Vee is bullish on something that at the end of the day, I said years ago, I've said since the beginning when these things came out, I don't understand optimizing for voice search when really all you're doing versus searching something and saying something, you're usually just adding in the what or some sort of question word before, because obviously you're not going to go to Google and type in, maybe you are, what are the best new restaurants in St. Louis? You just say best new restaurants St. Louis.
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer for you, Kris. Besides me saying I think it's a load of shit if you have, and I could be wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I'm the genius, but I think there's a lot of marketing companies that probably use that as a bullshit excuse to get someone to sign on the dotted line.
I mean, do people? Yeah, I just don't feel like people use Alexa for that type of thing anyway.
Well, I don't know. If I'm searching something,
we've got Google Home all throughout our office. The only thing we use it for is our smart
does it affect
camera.
Siri? Does it affect
Siri? Would be the same thing.
Okay.
But Siri's usually just searching.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, one last question.
I wanted to talk about content marketing for service-based companies.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on content marketing and how do service-based companies use it to get ahead, I guess?
So I think the biggest thing with home service companies is there's so many of them, right?
Yeah.
So of course, when you have search going on, if someone's looking for, you're an HVAC company, someone's searching for, their heaters needs repaired or broken or their AC is out, they're going to go to Google and search for that. But at the end of the day, what I always say is that still in Google or still in SEO or still in Google Maps, if someone's searching for an HVAC company, and even if you're paying for the number one spot and they've never heard about you, what then you can go ahead and do is make sure that you're branding your company properly online. And I think with content marketing, what it really allows you to do is to get out in front of those people and not necessarily the people that are looking to buy at that time, right? Because for a lot of home service companies, if someone needs something, they're going to go to Google and search it now versus contemplating it over and over again in their head until they make some sort of decision. But where it comes into handy is if you go to Google, say the same person now goes to Google, right? They type in HVAC company St. Louis. And for 3 years, this HVAC company has been distributing content locally to their area, has been, running ads or even just distributing content. K-Bill Design is a great example here in St. Louis.
They do a fantastic job getting out on every platform.
Yes, but what I've noticed and the biggest issue is with content marketing is there's a ton of people in St. Louis that still have never heard of K-Build. And of course, us being in the marketing field, we're like, whoa, I don't understand. But there are still so many people on social media, there are still so many people that aren't on social media or that don't, use it like that still wouldn't know about those businesses. So content marketing is great, but it's only one avenue. It allows you, number one, to drive your cost per lead down, though, through search. Because, of course, if you already have some sort of brand name recognition behind that, you're going to be able to generate more leads for the people that are already searching for that service. So your click-through rate on Google should be higher because now that person knows about you instead of seeing 3 ads by someone they don't know any 3 of those businesses. But also I think it's a big trust factor. A lot of home service companies, a lot of contractors aren't trusted, but we're going into people's homes or they're working on people's homes. And at the end of the day, that's like the biggest investment in a person's life for the most part is their house. So you want to be taking that stuff seriously. So being able to get, videos of them talking about the work that they do, videos of them actually doing the work that they do, educating videos. I mean, it's a game changer versus, you got one HVAC company that does it and you got another HVAC company that you go on their Facebook page or their Instagram and they have one post. I mean, some people don't care, but a lot of people at the end of the day are going to care.
Yeah, I mean, and we just talked about it with Matt Fleming on the St. Louis podcast. People buy from brands, from people. People buy from people. And by putting out content marketing, it's getting your brand out there in a way that you're not with regular search engine optimization. You're actually putting out opinions. You're actually putting out information and education versus just trying to hit on specific keywords. And it does also help with search engine optimization. It's a really big part of that.
Yep.
The other thing with content marketing, though, too, is that it's hard to track an ROI, but it helps increase the effectiveness of all of your other marketing strategies.
Mm-hmm.
So like you mentioned, your Google ads are going to do better because people recognize your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for search engine optimization. Same thing for showing up on social media. And just kind of like all of this goes into building your brand bigger and better.
Yep.
Awesome.
Killed it. That's all we got for this week, folks. Hopefully you learned something. We'll get an intro and outro next time.
Yeah, we'll work on that. That was very perfect.
All right. Peace.